Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting episode of Munchies and Thoughts. My name is Phathanani, I am your chef. Of course, I am not alone. I'm joined by this beautiful woman. My darling, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you, Pata?
I can see you are looking beautiful.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself. Who are you, where are you from, and what's special about you?
Okay, my name is Tshepang Thatelo from Thatelo Attorneys and Conveyances. Thatelo Attorneys is based in Pretoria, in the CBD, at Olivetti House, Office 4. You'll find us at Office 405, Olivetti House, Sophie de Brain Street.
Okay.
And yes, these are our areas of the law that we're focusing on. We do conveyancing and notarial practice, wills and estates, anything property law related. Of course, it has to be legal. It has to be legal.
Yeah. Of course, yes.
So personal injury claims of RAF, and we also do just general litigation.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I see there are numbers there.
Of course, telephonically you can find us on this number 012-880-3831. Our WhatsApp number is 071-831-8795. For all inquiries after this episode, they can find me on Tshepang at thateloattorneys.co.za. Tshepang, not Tshepang. Tshepang.
This episode is sponsored by Thatelo Attorneys. The Madam CEO, Madam Speaker, Madam everything is here. Yeah. So today we are discussing something very, very important, sensitive as well. Marriages. Like, my darling, you know better.
I know better. I'm here to come and advise the nation.
Just give me and the viewers the review exactly what's marriages, what's happening, what animals that, what are we talking about exactly?
I'm here to come and assist the nation when they decide that they don't want to do this whole jolo. They want to now get married. Oh, because there isn't, you don't have a partner, Chomi.
Okay, Chomi, carry on. Yes. Carry on, yes, the overview.
Yes, so marriages. In South Africa, we have a man and a woman getting married. We have a man and a man getting married. And we have a man taking more than one wife.
Yes.
Customary marriages. Those are customary marriages. Those are polygamous marriages. That is a man taking more than one wife.
Yes.
And then we have a man and a man and a woman, where the law in South Africa where South Africa realized that we have a society that is now growing.
Yeah.
They need to, which is actually not even growing, but more changing. Where now they have accepted, we have, as a society, have accepted that relationships are no longer about a man and a woman being heterosexual relationships.
Yeah.
We have now a man and a man, a woman and a woman getting married.
Okay.
Those ones, their marriages are governed. Those particular group, they're being governed by the Civil Union Act. And then you have the normal marriages, which is the default marriage system between a man and a woman. Okay,
so now you mentioned you mentioned a customary marriage, yes, where I think you said when a man is taking more than one wife.
That's polygamous marriage.
Also, there is a polygamous marriage, yes, customary marriage, and civil.
That is, and a civil marriage.
Yeah.
Civil marriages, it's normal. It's
civil marriage.
It's civil, yes.
Okay.
It's civil. It's between one party to the next party.
Okay.
It's between two people.
Okay.
The only difference is that when it's a man and a man or a woman and a woman, it's governed by a different act, being the Civil Union Act. But the basis of these three is that at the end of the day, there needs to be, it's a union, irrespective. The only difference is that with a polygamous marriage, it's more than one.
But
yes,
fall under. Okay, right now I want you to focus. You will be focusing to all these marriages.
Yes.
Can we talk about the customary marriage?
Now, with customary marriage, this is how it goes. In African culture,
yeah,
we have certain customs that we need to comply with, before you can get married. Meaning that there has to be a lobola that gets paid. So there are certain requirements that must be complied with in terms of the recognition of Customary Marriages Act, in order for your marriage to tick the box to say this is a customary marriage. So you need to be a lobola must be paid.
Okay.
You must be 18 years or older.
Okay.
You must be aware that you are entering into a customary marriage.
Okay.
But most importantly is that the marriage must be celebrated in terms of the customs of that marriage.
Okay.
So meaning if you are Zulu, when they come and they lobola, the marriage must be celebrated according to the Zulu custom. Because Nake Mosotho, Motswana / Motswana, when I get married, the lobola must be paid and the marriage must be celebrated according to the Tswana custom. If according to the Tswana Chivenda, Chitsonga or Zulu custom, depending on the marriage you are getting into.
Okay, now Tshepang, so if the marriage it's not celebrated, is it recognized as a marriage in customary marriage, or if it's not celebrated, we can't recognize that as a marriage?
It has to be celebrated. It has to be celebrated. Remember, the requirements are set for a reason. So it's not for one to decide which requirement you are going to comply with. Okay. So now if they came and they paid, the families came and they paid lobola, it's not the end. After the lobola, there must also be a celebration for you to fully comply with the act. You understand?
Okay, I think I get you, but at the same time, I'm losing you. Me saying that, remember that what if we like the box paying lobola, the box of 18 years, the box of knowing good, you know what, I'm entering into a marriage now with so and so. And then now it's happened that we don't have money to celebrate, to do celebration. So am I not going to be recognized as a married person?
It will depend how your in-laws would have accepted you into the family. Okay. It will depend on that, because a celebration does not need to be on the road, shattering, what. If according to the Zulu custom, I must be accepted with blankets, that is sufficient. I'm accepted by blankets. There was a mini sitting yana where we were eating, we were acknowledging the ceremony. Okay. You understand?
Yeah. No, I thought when you are saying the celebration parts need to be there, you are just saying...
I'm narrowing it to say there must be like alcohol and a party.
No. And tea, of course. No, I think I get your point. So, okay.
And also remember that it will depend on the circumstances. That is why customary marriages always find themselves, parties who enter into them find themselves in court. They find themselves in court because to a certain extent, there's always someone who's failing to acknowledge that the marriage is actually, that the marriage exists.
Between the parties?
Sometimes it can be between the parties. Let's say the one party dies, then it's the family.
Then how do we sort situation like that if it's happened?
That's why we have to register customary marriages. Customary marriages must be registered. And before we actually talk about the registration of customary marriages, I wanted to touch on one important point, which I want society to know at large. Society needs to know that if you enter into a customary marriage without an antenuptial contract, you have actually entered into a marriage in community of property. Okay.
Now, the customary marriage.
That's
very interesting.
Because we have a tendency of going and families taking out lobola, you know, and then after the lobola, the celebration is done, then something happens between the two of you, the parties. Then you just want to simply walk out like nothing happened because maybe you didn't go to Home Affairs or Wasaena. So you think there's no marriage. There's actually a marriage, and the marriage is the default system, is the marriage in community of property. So people need to, depending if you want to get married in community of property or not. If you don't want to, I suggest that before the negotiations, before everything starts, as partners, have your antenuptial contract ready.
Nizwileke babukeli bami emakhaya usikachazileke uTshepang ukuthi the moment you enter into customary marriage you automatically married in community of property. But if you don't want problems, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you are fighting, because we fight, Tshepang.
We fight, it's part of life. Someone doesn't like this union or someone is in it for the wrong reasons. Yeah.
So, Tshepang, I hear you. Before we go to the registration, I don't know, Guti, is there anything that you want to say? Because I want to ask a question when it comes to the registration of a customary marriage.
I want to talk about okay. We want to talk about the registration of the customary marriages.
Yes. Or let's start about contracts.
Let's talk about the antenuptial contract. Now, with an antenuptial contract, this is what must happen. An antenuptial contract is prepared by a notary, a notary public, and it becomes registered at the deeds office. In order for it to be noted, for everyone to know that that you are married out of community of property, meaning as soon as it gets registered, when I punch in your ID number as Phathanani, I will know that Phathanani entered into an antenuptial contract, meaning the default system of in community of property will not be applicable to you. Okay. You understand? That is why it's very important to register an antenuptial contract. It's for third parties to know that this marriage is one out of community of property. Now, with marriage out of community of property, there's two systems. There's the with accrual, there's without accrual. So marriage out of community of property without the accrual, it's one way we say you as Phathanani, you have your own estate. Me as Tshepang, I have my own estate. We don't share on debts, we don't share on liabilities. Even with the accrual, even if the estate can grow while we are married, we are not going to share. Everybody keeps what is theirs, and I keep what is mine.
Okay. So which means whatever that I'm building with you, that's what we can share.
No.
In case.
No. Everybody builds their own estate.
Okay. So, Tshepang, then we decide to buy the house together.
Then you can register the house in both your names. But that means then the house, the 50% will be into your estate, the other 50% will be in my estate. So everybody has their own share.
But I will ask this question before we move. So, is it like because as you mentioned earlier on, some people they enter into marriage for wrong reason, some they enter for good reason, some they become selfish along the way. A lot is happening, and then we can see what's happening in our country and the world as a whole.
But remember, as I said, marriage is not the systems that we have is not a one size fits all. You need to
it's not a one size it's not a one size fits all. It's not like those socks. It fits everybody.
No, it's not a one size fits all. So there are certain people that whom you need to look at the kind of marriage that you are in. If you are wealthy, like you are very rich, there are certain people who are very rich. They will not even dare enter into a marriage in community of property. And it's for obvious reasons, because a marriage in community of property is one joint estate. There's debts, there's liabilities. You share in the debts, you share in the liabilities, you share literally everything. You share in the profits and the losses. And then,
but why? Because we already sharing everything in the bedroom, honey. So why now when it's come to the estate you can't share?
But think about it. No, it's not bad. There are certain people whom it will work for. But say you are into business, you have this. I nearly said you are into tenders, but I don't like using that word. It's controversial. But let's say you are into a tendering business, and then you become insolvent. When you are married in community of property, it means that they are going to, the debtors are going to
everything.
Yes, they will attach every single property,
even something that I worked for.
You understand? So it's better to marry out. But then, as I was still explaining, there's the out with no accrual, and then there's the out with accrual, which will cater for people like you who still want to feel like you are building together. Yeah, so with the marriage out with accrual, you have your own estate. I have my own estate. But what we build in the marriage while we are still together, at the time of death, or at the time where we divorce, we are going to share. This is where the sharing comes in.
The accrual.
The accrual.
Okay.
Your estate, when they value it, let's say they value estate at 1 million, and they value my estate at 500,000.
Okay.
It means me of 500,000, I have a claim against your estate. I have a claim of 250. Yeah, whatever.
So mine is a million.
I hope my math is right. Yeah, you have a million.
You've got 500,000.
I've got 500,000.
So I can't claim go away.
No, because my estate is less.
Okay.
So we have to be at equal footing at the time of dissolution. Everyone must have, you understand, your share, my share. And we must be equal.
This is so
it
funny.
will be 1 million plus 500, 1,250,000.
This is so funny.
1,500,000, yeah.
Yeah, it's 250.
And then you must 250, yes.
No, but I've got a million. You've got 500. Oh, because it's half. You've got half of what I have.
Yes, you have 500. I have 500.
Which means we're gonna share 500,000.
We are sharing 500. That's why I said 250. Ooh. So it's a claim. You have a claim of that much against the other estate.
Babugel bam emakhaya nizwileke uchazile Tshepang from Thatelo Attorneys that before we share, if we are married in community accrual.
Don't mix those two. You cannot say in community and say accrual. In community is in community.
Is in community.
Out of community of property with accrual.
Or out of community of property with accrual. What I'm trying to say, thank you so much.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say, if I've got a million, you've got 500, and then it happened that we are divorcing, we need to change. I can claim Gowen.
Yes, because when you have a strong estate. Yes.
I saw Ropi. Okay, so now asizelana ke sithando sami ke I think ngicela ukuthi ungichazele nge registration. I think besikhuluma nge registration of customary marriage.
Customary marriages, what is happening? They are supposed to be registered. Okay. You lodge an application at the High Court, you register your marriage, your customary marriage. Same as, say, when you want to get into a polygamous marriage, because polygamous marriages are customary in nature. Okay. They need to be registered at the High Court. But we are finding a situation where marriages are not being registered. So when these marriages are not being registered, the position is this. The position is that they will become a marriage in community of property. But now let me explain this to you with polygamous marriages. Okay. With polygamous marriages, under normal circumstances, the man would have taken the first wife, Aker. Yeah. After taking the first wife, let me give a hypothetical situation. You and I are married, and then after we are still married, you decide that you see this lady that you think is more beautiful or has more money or has better domesticated than me, or whatever reasons it is. Yeah. You decide to take a second wife. The marriage between you and me, the first one, if there was no antenuptial contract, becomes a marriage in community of property. Okay. Ne? Okay. When you take the second wife, that marriage is not going to be a marriage in community of property. It's going to be a marriage out of community of property. Because there's already a marriage between us of a civil manner. And you cannot enter into a polygamous marriage if you're already married civil. So you cannot enter into two civil marriages. That's what I'm trying to say. You can only enter into one civil marriage. Okay. You cannot go to Home Affairs and sign twice. Yeah. You sign once. So when you take this one, and this one becomes now the second wife, the marriage is going to be out of community of property. That is why the law is saying, if you decide to go and take the second wife, approach the High Court, so that at the High Court, they can divide the estate, the first one, so that it can accommodate the second one as well. So they are saying, come and register your marriage. So people don't register their marriages. They remain married with the first wife, legally so, in terms of Hosaina. But honor, they didn't approach the High Court in order for the High Court to determine the division of the estate of the first one, of the properties of the first one, of the first marriage. Wow. Okay. Do you understand? I understand you. So and it poses a serious problem. It poses a problem because you are sitting with a situation where someone is married and possibly married in community of property, and the husband is going to, this woman has a share in the husband's estate, but the one who's married out of community, what happens then? It's the marriage is deemed out because...
I will just make an example. I think that what you're talking about is something that the Zulu royal, they are facing.
Is there a current dispute at the moment?
No, not now, but it's something like the first wife, that wife that was given power to be the queen.
Yeah.
Because I saw on news and papers that they were going, someone was disputing Guti, the other wives are not legally married or whatsoever. I think
understand.
It's similar.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, now I want to understand this, unless there's something I want to say before I can pose the second question.
Before you pose the second question, what I want to just say is that we need to learn to follow formalities.
Okay.
And do the things the right way.
Okay.
Customary marriages must be registered. People must try and register customary marriages. Polygamous marriages are becoming a trend these days. I think they're motivated by Mseleku, I think. Because
okay, let's not go there.
Let me not mention people's names.
Let's not go there. But now, now I want to understand this. This is very important because I'm reading on the papers, television, social media, and whatsoever. This couple, I'm not going to mention name. This couple, same sex like me. We saw on TV, newspapers celebrating, because now I'm going back what you said, would the marriage need to be celebrated to tick all the boxes, like over 18, lobola, and a celebration. And I believe that there won't be any celebration. It's just that I don't know, maybe if you can start here, when it comes to same sex, is there any lobola involved? What's going on?
It's what we are seeing that these days. We are seeing that people in same-sex marriages are being lobolad. We see it every day on TV. But in our society, right, society has not yet recognized
the same
sex in terms of customary.
Okay.
Because ordinarily, customary marriages were between a man and a woman.
Okay.
Whereas even customary marriages, a man had even more power than a woman. So now what do we do in a situation where now it's a man and a man? Customary marriages in society has never been recognized between same-sex relationships, which is a serious
I think it's a problem. Yes, it's a problem.
It's a serious problem, because then it requires the development of the law to accommodate culturally, they need to accommodate the same sex.
Because honestly, we are getting married every day.
Of course.
There's us getting married. And then now, okay, fine. And then, okay, you spoke about the cultural and like accommodation, I'll put it like that. And then now tell me, and then if it's happened, me, I believe that's me and my partner. We are married. And then my partner now, we were married. And then my partner comes and said, our marriage was not, we were not legally married. But celebration was there. Okay, let me say the lobola was there. I'm talking about myself now. I'm not talking about those people I was trying to. Then there was a lobola. There was like acknowledgement. There was a celebration. And then my partner, because of his reasons, I'm not going to say here because I'm a he, so it's he. His reason, and then come and say, we were not legally married.
Then you would have to go to court, unfortunately. We have to go to court so that the court can look at the matter holistically. Meaning, they will look at the fact that there was lobola paid. They will look at the fact that it was celebrated, although customs might not recognize same sex. But the court will have to look at other factors. They will look at how you have been living with the person. But you guys conducting yourselves as husband and wife. You understand? The court then exercises that kind of discretion to declare whether the marriage is there or not.
Also,
in cases where on a naked eye it does not look like there is a marriage, the court is there to play their role and look at other factors that can influence the fact that you lived as a man and a wife, as a husband and wife.
Wow. The courts need to play the role in whatever. Because of course, you did mention when we started, but you know, when we are still jolling and cozy, we talk about these things, but knowledge, it's not there.
It's not there. You know, it's like what? It's like a fat and sit situation. There's no lobola.
Yeah.
There's no introduction to the family, but the courts can actually intervene to say where another where I don't want to call fat and sit relationship spouses, because they are not spouses, they are just partners.
Yeah.
Let me rather say partners. The one partner can actually go to make a claim to say, I need, from the pension fund, I need a certain payment because me and this person, how we used to live like a husband and wife. There was a codependency relationship between us. We were living together for 10 years. Although we were not married, he was paying for the house, I was paying for the car. So I have an entitlement. There's a sense of entitlement because there was a codependency.
I've learned a lot, Tshepang, and I'm understanding. And I hope even my viewers at home that will be watching this episode, they will learn and they will understand, because I always say knowledge is very important. But remember, not all of us, we are it's time to funda and to listen, I'll say it like that, and to follow. And then we find ourselves in situation where we're like, etc. So today you explaining this, I think it will open a lot of people's eyes.
It will. And you know what I want people to also know? There are people who got married when they were very young.
Yeah.
Some people got married when maybe they were like 18 years of age.
No, even 12. I think they. But it's happened way back.
Yeah, it's illegal. You cannot, because you cannot consent to a marriage when you're a minor. Let's say you were you got married while you guys were still at varsity, and now you guys have grown, and your estates have grown a lot. And you as a partner, you are looking at your other partner like takes too many risky decisions that can influence your estate for you guys to lose your houses and stuff. You can always approach the court to change your marriage system.
Or you can?
Yes, there's a provision for the law to make a change of your matrimonial system.
I think you need to look at your camera and tell them.
You can change your marriage system. You approach the court, you approach your attorney. Obviously, before approaching your court, you approach your attorney to assist you. Come to us, we assist you. You can change your marriage system. You don't have to be stuck with the default position of in-community of property. You have to look and launch an application to court and explain and give reasons why it has to go from in to out, and we have to also inform third parties who might be affected by the change of the marriage system. But what I'm trying to say now is that it can be done.
It can be done.
Yes.
Wow.
It can.
So, like, I'm speechless because I am like, So, I don't know now. I think we can go now to another a marriage type. Customary, I think we've explained a lot.
We have explained a lot about customary.
We fine. I think everybody now, they will be happy and okay about it. So I don't know, you can just jump to another one.
Jump to other issues. We have spoke about antenuptial contracts. Yeah. We have spoke about, obviously, the marriage in community of property, right? And I think we have covered the basis of marriages as a whole. I'm not sure if there's anything maybe you wanted us to touch further on.
I think I'm fine.
I'm trying to think of if there's any elements that I could have missed, but no, we have covered. I would just like to plead to the audience to say anyone who wants to come, so that we are available to assist with antenuptial contracts. We can get them registered on their behalf. It's never too late. Even if you have a date at Home Affairs, it's fine. An antenuptial contract has to be registered within 3 months, 90 days, from the date in which it is signed in our offices. So even if you can go and get married, even if you can come and see us the day before your marriage will be out of community of property. So meaning that we would have prepared your documents, we will lodge then at the deeds office, even though you have already signed. But the day you go and sign, you need to inform the marriage officer. We will even give you a letter to present to the marriage officer, so the marriage officer can know that your marriage is going to be one out of community of property.
Wow. Babukeli Bami Makaya, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you've learned a lot from Tshepang from Thatelo Attorneys. And yes, she did mention where you can get hold of them. So now, Tshepang, as we are closing this episode, any advice that you would like to give our viewers, whoever that is watching Munchies and Thoughts now at home?
To the viewers of Munchies and Thoughts, I say look at your marriage. Decide, sit with your partner. Seek legal advice. It's only a consultation fee that you will have to pay. Seek legal advice. Understand better after this what you think would work for you. Don't just fall for the normal default system to get married into it, because it might not work for you at the end. So sit with your family, do the right things before you can sit with your partner, and do the right thing before you can actually even go and take out lobola. It starts there, before the lobola, not after the lobola. No.
Wow. It starts by wena ukhulume nami or ukhulume nomuntu wakho before nihambe nje niyoshadana ngoba thina sizodla siphuzitiye siphuze champagne. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I can't wait to see you again on another episode. This deserves a cheers. Goodbye.
Thank you.